No primary stats whatsoever. Really low life regen, really low resist all, pickup radius. Just a whole lot of what ifs and half-assed affixes here. 10% chance to block, enough said. Again, the only reason somebody would want this is if they are absolutely armor starved and they just want to pick up a blockless shield just for some armor. And you can do that with armor affixes. You don't need to buy a shield. Like, you get yourself a quiver, you get yourself a source, whatever other offhand choice you have. It's really a vicious cycle. I did a bunch of IDing for somebody last night. They had 2 stashes full of stuff, and I went through and priced it all. And just, there's some real glaring misconceptions about how people think about gear. It was good for me in terms of better understand people's mistaking lines of thought, but just keeping everything with Gold Find plus Magic Find together, if somehow for some reason that combination was valuable, which it isn't. As I mentioned before, they're completely different audience pools that buy one than the other. He was keeping pieces with really high intellect, dex, and strength together, or some combination of the 2 of them, as if that was good, as if you were getting any sort of real benefit out of both of them. You're only getting a good benefit out of one of them. At best, you're getting a very minor benefit out of the second one that doesn't apply to your class. A little bit of dodge from your dex, very little bit of armor from your strength, and an incredibly little bit amount of resist all from your intellect. These gloves have some crit chance and a little bit of strength, but there's no resists, there's no life component, there's no attack speed, there's no crit damage, so there is Magic Find, but there's not a whole lot of anything else. Same goes here. There's a couple little starter things that catch your eye, but then they all sort of dissipate when you look at it as a whole. Good amount of vitality, decent amount of strength, or crit chance, excuse me, but that's where it stops. Yeah, this one isn't going to work. The gold's not high enough by itself, and if there was pickup radius on top of it, you could actually get a decent amount because it's perfectly suited for gold farming, because it gives you a whole bunch of life and some defenses. So your idiotic artificial intelligence bot that you're running through 24/7 is going to die less often. If you put 2 vitality gems and a dexterity gem in there, you could put your search fields at 160, 100 dex, 60 vitality, but that's still going to leave you with nothing else sexy on the piece. 200 life regen is fine, but it's not going to compare to a good resist all. I replaced my ring, so I'm going to need to list this one as well. Got legendary and a set gloves for the end of this session. And I got a whole bunch of belts that I've saved up and put together. So I'll do those all at the same time for some comparison's sake. Some strong numbers, but you've really only got 3. If you're looking at the intelligence here, you've got a lot of nice dodge, but if you're looking at the dexterity, then you've got 11 resist all, but you've got a really strong crit chance, and you've got pretty darn strong dexterity. So this is, you know, almost 3 affixes when if you factor in a little bit of resist all. Unfortunately, this just doesn't make it. If that was magic find instead of gold find, absolutely. Only 1 socket hurts here, and lack of resist all or armor or life regen. You can only get 1 of those strength or vitality up into triple digits, and then all you've got to go on is magic find after that. I'm going to take a look at it though. Triple competing primaries and nothing else. Very good crit. Now, if these are good bonus, a little bit of life regen and a strong armor, but there's no real meat on the bones of that chest. Strong vitality, perfect lifesteal, socket. It's got some good affixes, but the numbers aren't there. I'd much rather see a socket than a natural low magic find roll, of course. And nothing here gets into the triple digits, and there's no crits. So. Dexterity, not much else. Just really low primary stat. Okay, these will sell just because of the gold find plus pickup. You can completely ignore the rest of it. If this had a socket, you'd have a very small chance to sell it. If you're looking at the dex, half a vitality roll, good resist all, and reduced damage from ranged. It takes a smart buyer to appropriately value reduced damage from melee, ranged, or the best of the three, reduced damage from elites, which I think you can get on your chest and your shield as well. Problem is, it's such a rare affix that I've been looking to buy a piece myself for those slots and try and stack reduced damage from elites. But they're so rare, there's only 2 or 3 up at a time on the auction house, and they have horrible other stats. It'll take a while to find a good one. If the chance to block was good here, I would actually sell this, and I would list it high, and I wouldn't mind waiting a while, because strong crit chance, and if it had like I said, a strong chance to block. This is a level 63 shield instead of 62. The numbers on effective health really come out very strong on this, despite not having any sort of vitality or life percent modifier. Low damage modifier. The gold's not in the 20s. Actually, does it cap out at 20 on offense? Take a peek. No life component here. If there were, you could put that strength into triple digits and you'd have a sale, but okay, belts. Whole lot of little stuff. Could probably find a home for this if that intelligence is in the triple digits, but right now there's just not enough visual appeal here. The armor's half-assed, the life regen's half-assed. The only strong roll here is actually just the fire resist. Same here, both your strength and your vitality are quite low. You've got nice armor though. One thing to mention, when you have lots of affixes, 6 or 7, 5, 6, 7, the more you have, the higher the chance that someone won't be able to find it and or value it appropriately on the auction house because of the lack of interface right now. Hopefully that will change this week. Hopefully they have gotten the auction house interface changes into this patch. They said they might not, depending upon time, and it does feel like this one's come out very quick. If Bashak is to believe, then it does come out in 2 days. They haven't even released the Magic Find blog update or anything. They haven't released the patch notes officially. So either they aren't planning on giving the community time to look over this stuff, or it's not happening this week. Either way, it seems like they aren't going to be able to get the interface changes in this patch, which would be unfortunate. But back to my original point, the more beneficial affixes you have, the harder it is to find, not only find it, but also for somebody else to trust in your pricing of it. And because of that, you really do need to have some key affixes that are strong. You can't have 6 weak affixes, or it's not going to match anyone's 3 search fields. Looking at a piece cumulatively, comprehensively, you might think, yeah, it's really good. If something has 50 strength, 50 vitality, 30 resist all, 30 physical